Hello and welcome back, my friends. Today I'm going to share with you 3 different DIY gardening grow box containers that you could put together for free or on the cheap, pennies on the dollar, utilizing a cardboard box. Check it out. Now, each one of these grow box designs, I have a long format video detailing how I put these together. Check down below in the description box if you want to learn more. So this one here is one of my favorites. And this is simply a cardboard box that's been lined with a heavy-duty contractor cleanup bag wrapped with some burlap, not just to beautify the box because I think it looks great, but also to protect the plastic from degradation and UV exposure from the sun. So we've got a few different things popping up in this box. This is the second growing season that we'll be utilizing this container. And I just want to show you this as well. You see these little pellets in here? These are hardwood pellets used for barbecues and smokers. After you're done with your Q, you can take the remnants there and make great biochar and add into your grow containers. It's a little side tip for you there. Now we've got a variety of plants popping up here as volunteers. I've got some Dan's perennial tree kale and tree collards showing up. I see a borage plant coming up here. I'm not quite sure what these are, but I'm going to seed this today with a bit of radish. Now radishes are a wonderful garden crop. Every gardener should consider growing in their garden. It's one of the fastest to get to maturity, just about a month, and you'll be harvesting radishes. And it doesn't get any easier than this. I like to just sprinkle them into my growing container and just work it into the soil ever so slightly, making sure we get things covered up. Now we love radishes. There's so many different culinary uses. We love putting them atop our salad. They make a great slaw. They're awesome as a taco topping, and pickled radishes make an excellent appetizing platter. So there we go, all planted out just like that. So one of the greatest benefits to this grow box design is that you can easily move this around. Because there is a barrier between the cardboard box and the growing medium, none of the soil, none of the moisture comes in contact with the cardboard box. So it holds together very well. You can move this around the garden. You can put it atop a table for better ergonomics, easy gardening. And built into this grow box design, we've got this little flap for easy drainage, so the water will drip off the back side of the box. Overall, a very simple and effective way to begin growing more food at home today. Now here's another DIY cardboard box growing container that we've had out in the garden for over a year throughout all the different weather. With this container, there is no lining, so the soil is in direct contact with the cardboard. Now what's helping this to keep its shape and hold together is we have some chicken wire or poultry wire surrounding the outside of the box, and that keeps everything held together beautifully. So even as the cardboard degrades and breaks down, the growing container keeps its shape. And then once again, by adding some burlap on the outside, we beautified this container. It looks quite nice in my opinion. And this is more of a all-natural grow box style for those concerned about growing food in plastic. One of the main differences between the two containers is that once you have this one set, you're not going to want to move it around. Otherwise, it's going to basically fall apart on you. So you want to set this where you want it to live in its permanent spot in the garden. And over here is the third cardboard box growing container that I want to share with you today. This box is just like the last container I showed you, minus the burlap. These bricks don't serve a function as of yet. I was just experimenting with some other ideas here. This is by far the cheapest and easiest of the 3 to put together. With this grow box, I just added native soil from the garden. You can see some of the wood chips and other organic materials that are in here. So we saved a bunch of money on soil cost as well, which can be the most expensive part of putting together a growing container. Now, in this box, I'm going to be planting out some store-bought potatoes that have begun to sprout. So we'll just drop a few potatoes in this container here. And later on, we can add a bit more soil and build it up as the greens begin to grow up. And I'll move these out of the way just to give you a clear shot. And just like that, our grow box is planted out and we're growing more food in our garden. And this cost me $0 to put together. This is just an old piece of scrap poultry wire that we've been using throughout the garden for over a decade, and it's holding up nice. The cardboard box is free and the soil came right off the land. And rather than throw out our sprouted potatoes from the store, we're planting them out to grow more. So I've got a bonus for you I'm going to share with you now. So over here in the greenhouse, I've got more of a bare bones example of the cardboard box lined with the plastic bag. And I've got some longevity spinach that's rebounding back after the winter season. Still too cold to be placing outside right now. And with this growing container, I did not add a drainage hole, but rather I use this as a wicking bed. I've got a couple sandbags in here as my grow pots, and this porous material will wick up water. So all I need to do is add a little bit of water in here from time to time, and these plants will wick up the amount of water that they need. Simple, easy, functional, and I'm going to be taking a bunch of cuttings off this longevity spinach and propagating out this plant. So in my experience, this was a great way to keep the plants viable, keep them alive and growing until we can then again transplant out into the garden as things warm up. And check this out, my friends. I know I'm always showing you the greens growing in my garden. I apologize, but this is just one of the most beautiful specimens this time of year. Gorgeous yellow flowers. These plants are usually humming with bees. We do have a bit of drizzle today. I do see a couple bees here. And we've got some nice seed pods developing on here. This plant here, I grew from seeds, documented that as well. And in just a short time, you can see how large the plant has gotten. Now, after it flowers, we'll be harvesting those seed pods and those flower shoots, and this plant's going to take off once again. And so with that, I just want to wish everybody a blessed Good Friday. There's no other place I'd rather be on a day like today than out in the garden, even with the drizzle and the overcast. It's still where I want to be. The garden is a place where I find my peace, and it's a constant reminder of the abundance that God has created here on this earth. So with that, my friends, have yourself a great rest of the day. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.